Hey guys, Anthony here with Austin Historical Weapons Guild, here with Joshua. Today we're talking about Fabris Plate 36. In Plate 36, Fabris talks about a wound of a fourth against a second. And this has some really interesting language, really talking about driving the hilt where the fencer wanted the tip to be, and also really helped us kind of hone in a bit more on not only the timing of the cavazione, but actual movement and kind of digging more into the meaning of it and motion of it as well. So I kind of want to deal with that first, as well as some of the timing stuff before we start playing with the actual plays, the actual motions involved, because I think it's really critical to our understanding of how the play works and how the play feels, and it really makes the whole thing feel a lot smoother and tied together, more unified. So cavazione, as always, meant to me at least about changing the line of the sword and switching sides. So we're both out in third, say. The cavazione would be, I kind of always thought about being you dip under, moving over, and working from there. We don't see, looking back through the plates, a lot of cavaziones happening from found positions. In fact, we even see one where it's a bad thing to do, right? Where if I find my sword, if I cavazione now, Joshua should just drive in and attack me. And we see that one or two other plays. And it's really, what that's trying to show us is that cavazione should be being done from further away before the opponent's point is online. We really see this here, especially in the second play, where they're doing cavazione from second. So if I'm in second, and if Joshua's moving to find my sword, my cavazione is just this little motion, right? I can step with my foot, but really I'm just bringing my sword over his, putting him on the outside myself, we're putting us both on the outside. But from here, because I've changed that line, I've changed where his targeting is, I really get to change the impact of the fight much grander and with much smaller motion, much smaller amount of work on my side than if I wait for him to come up more and I need to actively, dip my sword over under his to do things. So that's really for me saying that the cavazione can and maybe even should be being done in this early tempo or even farther distance where we're still playing this game of finding the sword, moving things around, right? So we both know if we're standing like this, the sword's out of the inside. There's no debate, there's no argument. But if I want him to be on the outside, I don't wait for him to get point online and do these other things for you know what, let's go over here, because that's that tempo Fabris talks about where he should be driving in to attack. Instead, if I'm on the outside and I want to be to the inside, as he's coming up, I can take this passing step, this transitional step, towards him because I'll constantly moving forward, and now I'm in a much better position. I can attack this weakness he's exposed here, or the outside, or anything else like that, and that's kind of a tempo for that cavazione that makes a whole lot more sense. It fits in really well with what Fabris is talking about in the place he's describing, and gives us a whole lot more tempo to work, time to work, to counter cavazione, recavazione, things of that nature, as these things are kind of playing out. And how this relates to plate 36 that we're working on now is, again, that second half, which we're going to jump to right now. So this kind of starts, again, he's up in second, we're both the inside. As I go to move to find his sword, this is when he cavaziones. I haven't come up yet, I haven't done anything yet. He's able to take this easy cross step across to get this in line. If I do nothing, he gets to make this attack, right? So that's kind of where this play opens up, how this play starts off. So as he comes up, I'm going to counter cavazione, get my own sword in line the same way. I'm going to take this transition and follow through. And this is where that key point comes out of putting my hilt where I want my point to be comes in, right? So if we kind of pause, we go back to second, and I'm finding his sword, right? I want my point up here somewhere, right? I don't have a real exact method of the measurement. I want to get my strong here, my sword there, and I found his blade, I can do things to him. So I know I roughly want my point here. So when we talk about putting my hilt where I want my point to be, as he cavaziones, as I counter cavazione, I want to bring my hilt still up here somewhere, right? Back in that imaginary space where things used to be. So I'm going to do that winding through the fourth, doing a Dorado without a step, a tuta volta if you're a Fiorist, and making my wound from there. So again, he's up in second. As I'm moving up, he cavaciones, he steps offline, he changes his line. I change it again. I drive through, putting my hilt where I want my point, turning everything to drive in that wound. And we take those same principles, the same timings, and apply it to that first play, where he talks about kind of dropping his body, dropping into second. There's no cavazione listed here, but instead of turning offline, we're looking at the other fence, the opponent, that guy who gets stabbed. As I move to find him, he's going to drop, keeping his sword high, taking away my target at the same time. So the same instance, I mean the same exact thing before. I'm putting my hilt where I once wanted my point. Delayed tempo doesn't work as well. And driving this through there with that same turn, same pressure there. So again, he's starting up in third. I go to find his sword, and again, same tempo we did with the cavazione. He's not waiting for me to find his sword and come up as I even start to move. So when he drops and makes this happen, this allows me in this motion, I turn back out, changing everything and locking out that attack. So one more time, I go to find, he drops, I turn, placing my hilt where I want my point and driving into his chest. So I hope that was clear. As I said, for me, that really gave a much clearer, much stronger understanding of the time of the cavazione, how they could work. I'm definitely not going to promise this what they do, but really the idea that these cavaziones don't need to be these wrist dips, these arm drops that I've honestly seen and been taught in the past, but instead can be this really simple, oh, your sword's about to move, I'm going to close off that line, I'm going to change where the swords are, not by anything with my arm or hand, but instead my hips, my shoulders, and I'm able to make a much smaller, much more controlled motion, again, using bigger, stronger muscles, keeping myself much safer. If people have any comments or feedback on this, I'm definitely up to hearing them. I'll definitely be looking more into cavaziones in the coming week and hopefully have some other opinions, other insights by the time this is out. So definitely please comment below, reach out to us, Facebook, email, anything like that. Otherwise, thanks for watching.